Right, so today we are going to talk about mites. I was working on my fly cultures for the week when I suddenly realized that I have a mite infestation. This is the shelf where I keep my mite cultures. Oh my gosh, listen to me. My fly cultures. And I was looking at this when I realized that I had mites crawling all over my cultures. So I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you guys a little bit about it because I feel like every time I talk about fly cultures with somebody and talk about mite prevention, not a lot of people really take it seriously because they've never experienced this, and holy cow, it is really annoying. I noticed that, let's see if I can zone in on any. You can actually see some floating. All of these dots that you see, those are all mites. Oh, you can see them walking here. Oh my gosh, there's big one, little ones. Oh my god, doesn't that make your skin crawl? Well, anyway, this whole shelf is full of them right now. Mites are little tiny bugs that will appear in fly cultures, so it is important to take measures to prevent them. When you get mites, it causes your culture to crash, which is awful. That means that the cultures won't produce, even if they're new. If they get infested with mites to the extreme level where nothing produces, that pretty much means that you won't get any flies out of it, and then you won't be able to feed your frogs or whatever, which is pretty freaking awful. So to prevent mites, there's actually several methods. My favorite is this mite paper, which I get from Amazon. Here, we can look at it real quick. I get it from Amazon. I find it under mite paper, but this is the label on it. So I think it cost me maybe $8 to $10 a roll, and one roll did four of these big old tubs for me. So they do last a good while. Now this has the chemical in the paper, so it works as a mite prevention, but it does run out after a couple months, so I definitely recommend to replace it every few months. Now this isn't the only way that you can prevent mites. You can also use Bug Blade, which is a powder sold by Josh's Frogs. You can use Diatomaceous Earth, which is also a tiny powder. You can read more about this online, but those are just some options. If you want to use no chemicals, then some people will put an inch of water at the base of the tub. So they'll put maybe this much water. That way the mites can't cross culture to culture because they can't swim. So that's one way, but it's not really sustainable for this many cultures because that would just be a huge mess. Now, the last method that I know of is using mite spray. What people do is they line their tubs with paper towels and they keep them moist with the spray. Now, all the methods work. It just depends on which one you're comfortable with and what works with your setups and etc. But it's definitely important to have that, just as a preventative measure. Like if you've never experienced anything like that before. Oh, here, I'm gonna put the phone down real quick. I'm gonna put on some gloves so that we can zoom in on these mites on these cultures. Luckily, I haven't had any of mine crash so far, but I have actually experienced crashes of all of my cultures, and it cost me hundreds of dollars to get cultures quickly in order to feed all of my frogs. I make 24 cultures a week, so you can see how that definitely adds up. Here, let's see if I can zoom in. You can definitely see the flies. These are all Heidi. But it's so small, my phone is having a hard trouble. Alright, so you can see all of the dots on top of the lid. Teeny, what are you doing? What are you doing? Silly boy. Oh man, sorry guys. There we go. Alright, and you can actually see them moving. Oh my god, this is terrifying. They're all over. Oh my god, do you see them all on the lid? Yeah, and you can see how much smaller they are than the fruit flies, but they're literally all over this culture. This culture is 3 weeks old now. And it is teeming. Oh my god, look. By my fingers, the mites are crawling on. This is why I wear gloves when I feed. I know that a lot of people ask me questions about why I wear gloves. Because I don't want mites in my fingernails. Ew. So, alright, so we've covered what mites are. They come from the media. They don't actually come from like a cross-contamination unless you have mites in something else, then they can definitely contaminate fly cultures. But it is recommended to throw away your oh my gosh, I keep saying that. To throw away your fly, oh my gosh, that scared me. Oh my gosh, I'll never finish this sentence. To throw away your fly cultures when they're 28 days old. So I organized my cultures by their age. So those were made a week ago, those were made 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and 4 weeks ago. And those, today I'm going to remove the flies when I feed, and then the rest of them are over. They're getting tossed. So it's very important to do that because after the 28-day mark, then they will definitely start producing mites. By that point, your culture won't be producing, but your newer ones will. So that's particularly why I keep my batches separate and why you have to stay on top of the paper. This time whatever method you use, you got to stay on top of it just to make sure that it's working so that you don't get an infestation like this, which freaking sucks. But it's just one of the things that you deal with. Alright, well I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you have any questions, definitely let me know. Leave me a comment. And alright, well happy frogging. Thanks for watching.